Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Vogue virtual open house. Delighted to see you. We're just going to give it a few minutes so everybody has a chance to come into the room, get settled. We're thrilled to have you with us. There's a wonderful cast of people involved in today's virtual open house, where we're going to have the prospective students information session and tell you all about the exciting things that are happening in summer. Just give it another minute and we'll see where the numbers are at. Wonderful. Okay, I think we'll make a start. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Vogue Summer School, the prospective students information session, the virtual open house. It is a delight and a thrill to have you with us here today. My name is Dan Vo. I am the Director of Pre-College, and we are going to be telling you about some very exciting things that are happening in New York this year. And we hope that you will join us for Vogue Summer School, the very first run of it. So it's your chance to be a pioneer. Today, we're going to give you a welcome and introduction to Vogue Summer School and also Condé Nast College. Then we're going to give you an academic spotlight, a bit of the understanding of what the program highlights are, and then we'll come to how to apply and enroll before we come to Q&A. Now, we'll do our best to answer the questions in the background as well. So there is a Q&A in the toolbar there that you can click on and add your questions as we go along. I can see that there's one in there already. So do throw in as many questions as you can, and we'll answer them as we go. Now, I should also add that the visuals that you'll see today, the images that you'll see are credited down the bottom. It says CNC student work, Condé Nast College student work. And so what you see is actually the work of students. And hopefully it gives you an idea of, if you are a student yourself and you want to come to our program, a chance to see what some of the work that you might end up creating may look like if you put in quite a bit of hard work. So welcome to this virtual open house. It is a delight and thrill to have you here. I hope that you will take up our offer, which is to say, come to New York for summer to spend 2 weeks with us for an exciting new program, Vogue Summer School. We will be providing world-class fashion education, and we are offering to open the doors to a unique world of excellence and creativity to you. When I was asked to describe the program for Vogue, we said that it was like giving you an offering that unlike any other that Vogue has ever given. And it is providing you with access to Vogue through experiential education and providing you with unparalleled opportunities to network with industry leaders. This is a real world experience that is going to be happening in the heart of New York, and we hope to set you on the path to success. Vogue Summer School is inviting high school students who are curious and passionate about the world of fashion to experience it firsthand in one of the most important fashion capitals. So hopefully that's you and you are interested in joining us. You're going to have a chance to explore a range of topics that shape the industry today and also pick from 3 specialized courses. It is fashion business, fashion styling, and fashion media. We'll explain a bit more about that to you, what that means for each of those 3 courses. But it's really your chance to join like-minded students and fashion enthusiasts from all around the world and to go behind the scenes to learn about the inner workings of the fashion, media, and lifestyle industries with Vogue experts as your guide. If you've ever dreamed, if you've ever dared to dream about a career in the fashion industry, well, why wouldn't you want to learn from one of the biggest and greatest fashion brands in the world? Now, I said that this is our very first year of running Vogue Summer School, but we draw on a wealth of knowledge and expertise, and also a track record for educational excellence. And to tell you a little bit more about that, I am delighted to introduce you now to our Global Academic Director, Johannes Reponen.
Thanks, Dan. And welcome, everyone. It's so nice that you could join us for this information session. Now, I wanted to start off by telling you a little bit about Condé Nast, in case it's a brand that you're not familiar with. Condé Nast is one of the world's most renowned media companies. It was founded in 1909 by a man called Condé Montrose Nast after he purchased a weekly society gazette, which I think you might have heard of. It's called Vogue. And today, Condé Nast has the reach for more than 1 billion audiences, and it's present across 32 markets around the world. And Condé Nast is, if you like, a sort of an umbrella company that includes really iconic media brands such as the New Yorker, GQ, Vanity Fair, Wired, Architectural Digest, and of course Vogue, which is why we're here today. Now, I don't think I need to introduce Vogue to you, but perhaps I can say a few words about it. Vogue is, of course, a renowned fashion and lifestyle publication that it has become an iconic authority in the world of fashion and culture. It was founded in 1892, and Vogue began its life as a weekly newspaper in the United States, and it has since become expanded to various different countries around the world, with editions in UK, France, Italy, and many others. In other words, it's now a global brand, and it's present not only in print, but also in digital, video, social platforms, and of course, red carpet, such as the Met Gala. And what I think is unique about Vogue is that it places fashion in the context of culture and the world we live in. It talks about how we dress, how we live, and how we socialize. It's all about what we eat, what we listen to, and what we watch, and who leads us and who inspires us also. And Vogue is also not just a publication, but it's a cultural institution that shapes and defines the world of fashion, whilst also influencing broader cultural trends and conversations. And in many ways, you could say that Vogue is there to educate about fashion, which is also where Condé Nast College fits in. Our mission at the Condé Nast College is to translate the fashion authority of Vogue into world-class transformative education. We have presence in London, Madrid, and New York, and we also offer online courses in English and in Spanish. The college has been around for over 10 years, and during this time, thousands of students have come to learn more about the fascinating world of fashion. We also, as well as offering pre-college courses like the one that we're here to talk about today, we offer undergraduate and postgraduate degrees, along with short courses focused on practical skills and up-to-date knowledge for students from all around the world. And personally, I'm really proud to say that we have alumni working in some of the leading fashion brands, and many have also gone on to work at Condé Nast and at Vogue. At the college, we specialize in 3 distinctive areas when it comes to fashion. We offer courses in fashion media for those of you that are interested in developing skills in areas such as styling, journalism, and creative direction. This is, of course, all about storytelling and communicating fashion through words, visuals, moving image, and audio. We also specialize in fashion business with the aim to prepare students with knowledge in areas such as marketing, branding, and entrepreneurship. And finally, we cover fashion communication with the focus on public relations, events, and communication strategies, preparing students to translate the messages that fashion brands want to transmit to their audiences. I hope this gives you a bit more context to Condé Nast, Vogue, and Condé Nast College. And I'll now hand over to my colleague Olivia to tell you more about Vogue Summer School.
Thanks so much, Johannes. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Olivia Kormos. I am the Senior Program Coordinator working on curriculum development for Vogue Summer School, and I can't wait to discuss all of the great programming that we have for you this summer. So when you join us this summer, the majority of your day from 9:30 to 4:30 will be taken up by your class program with a break for lunch in the middle, obviously. And we have 3 tracks that you can choose from for your course, which I will discuss in a minute. And all 3 of them will be led by lead instructors who are industry professionals. They're leaders in the fashion world. They'll be able to speak with you directly about their own experiences and the inner workings of the industry. but they will also be supported in the classroom by both an instructor who is a high school teacher who will be able to make sure you have the best learning experience possible, and an academic specialist who will provide additional support as well. You will have homework, either projects or brief writing assignments, or required readings each night, and each course also concludes with a final project, which is something that you'll build throughout the whole 2 weeks. You'll present it to your class, and hopefully you can potentially use it as maybe part of a portfolio later on. And of course, we want to support you throughout this process. So there are office hours for each course with the academic team. There's also program-specific resources to help with your learning. So yeah, now let's look at the specific tracks that you can join, starting with fashion business. So this course will provide an in-depth look at how branding and entrepreneurship are key in the fashion industry, just like Johannes was saying, really exploring how the wider fashion landscape influences business development, and how both historic brands and up-and-coming brands will have to respond to trends and always continue innovating. You'll learn all about how brands are developed, the various steps that need to take place to go from an abstract general concept to a physical finished product. You'll also meet with key figures in the fashion industry, like creative agencies, marketing specialists, and entrepreneurs. And for your final project, you'll get to develop your own brand concept, where you'll practice creating a brand strategy, how it's marketed. You'll talk about a brand identity and what makes your concept unique. So overall, this is a great program for anyone who's curious about business development in fashion, who has exciting ideas they want to develop, and wants a solid foundation in the world of fashion business. Our next course is our fashion media course, which is great for anyone interested in a potential career or study of fashion journalism and media development. Maybe you want to work at Vogue one day. It's really built on learning how fashion media in 2024 is not just about pitching articles and then writing them. It's also about the digital ecosystem and how branding and experiential content play into the media outlets' day-to-day work as well. So you'll learn about researching and building stories for different concepts, but you'll also learn about like content creation for Instagram or TikTok. You'll learn about branding partnerships, the concept of advertorial work, and some design basics as well. So the final project for this course involves pitching your own concept for the September issue of Vogue, which includes making mood boards, designing covers, coming up with article ideas. So overall, I would say also that this is a great course for anyone looking to really dive into all of the different opportunities that are available in fashion media and learn some really great practical skills for the industry as well. And finally, we have fashion styling, which really focuses on creating images and everything that goes into that process. You'll get the opportunity to work with a professional photographer, a hair and makeup artist, and a model on a basic studio shoot, which is where your concept really gets to drive the final product. And you'll also get to practice other types of shoots, like street photography or a still life shoot, which is when you style a specific piece of merchandise in a unique way. Of course, before you do all that, you'll learn all about how the cultural zeitgeist is created, analyzing notable moments in fashion styling, learning all about how photographers come up with ideas, idea generation, and what inspires them. You'll also learn about camera and beauty basics, as well as the different opportunities available for stylists, such as the difference between celebrity styling and personal or commercial styling. So just to summarize all 3 programs, I'll say that regardless of what you're interested in studying, all 3 tracks are really wonderful opportunities to learn about the fashion industry as a whole. And no matter which one you choose when applying, you're going to gain a really wide understanding of how it works and what your potential future in it could look like. So with that, I'll pass it over to our Director of Residential Life, Drew, who's going to talk some more about other highlights of the program.
Thank you, Olivia. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. My name is Drew Thompson. I am the Director of Residential and Student Life, and I'm going to go over a few program highlights. So I'll first start with just a program overview. This is what a 2-week term looks like for us. So Sunday is move-in and orientation. That is mandatory. That is us welcoming you to the program, going over policies and procedures, getting you acclimated with the residential facility if you're a residential student, giving you a tour of the grounds, and connecting you with what we call your living and learning community. And the living and learning community is the community that you'll travel with, when you're going on any activities that are happening outside of the classroom. That first Monday will be the first day of class. As Olivia mentioned, it's from 9:30 to around 4:30 with a break in between for lunch. And then we have our first mandatory or highly recommended, but I'd like to say mandatory, highly recommended social activity, which is the IG photo challenge. Day 2, which is Tuesday, again, you'll have class, and then you'll have some optional programming happening after class, one being the neighborhood tour to acclimate you and give you a taste of the city and some of the really important communities around where you will be living and learning for the 2 weeks. Wednesday, your third day of class, followed by your industry speaker series, which is really, really exciting. We've tapped into experts in the field who will come and speak to you all and answer your questions. And it's always, we've done this in the past with other programs, it's always a good time. Students leave the speaker series feeling really informed and educated. The first Thursday, again, you'll have class, followed by some optional activities, one being the bookstore crawl. That's always a hot hit for us. We've done them with other programs, and students really enjoy that, going out to the city with their cohort, with their residential counselors and really, getting a taste of like the hardcover books that I think is coming back into style. Friday, we have class and then another couple of optional activities, one being vintage thrifting. And then that first Saturday, we like to call it an exploration day where you explore the city. You'll be able to be off campus for maximum 4 hours. And, you'll be able to explore the city with some autonomy, but then we'll have some optional activities happening in the evening. The first Sunday is an excursion day. It'll be jam-packed, but with other programs that we've ran, students really, really enjoy this. It is a long day, but it is really informative, it's educational, and you'll be doing that, with your living and learning community. The second Monday, we'll have our obviously class and then our college and young professionals night, where we'll have different representatives from different colleges, come to campus and talk about the application process, the do's and don'ts, how to stand out from the crowd, and what the process is like if you're trying to get into a specific university or college. Tuesday, we'll have class followed by our Broadway show. Broadway is always a hit with our summer programs. Our students love it. That's something that our students have raved about with other programs. Broadway is always a hit. And then Wednesday, it is class and final project preparation. So our living and learning communities will have programs, that'll help students kind of finalize their final project, because Thursday, which is the last day of class, is going to be when you do your final project presentation, followed by the farewell celebration. And then that Friday, we'll have our closing ceremony and we'll be moving out. So it's a full jam-packed 2 weeks, but it's structured. We do allow for students to have autonomy. We do allow for students to check off campus. We operate using a buddy system because we want to make sure everyone is safe. But I think the structure that we have in place really creates a holistic experience, and the 2 weeks is something that you'll really take with you well beyond the program. So some highlights to include, which will include co-curricular and academic programming, will be the Vogue headquarters. I believe that's where our speaker series is going to be held at, which is extremely exciting. Our Broadway show, the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, aka the Met, vintage shopping and thrifting, which is kind of a fad now, but there are folks who really know what they're doing and they really know what to look for. Again, the young professionals in college night, and the New York City neighborhood tours. It's so interesting because I've done a tour with one of our other programs, and I found out a lot of rich history about New York City that I didn't even know, and I'm a native New Yorker. So it's extremely exciting. Now I'm going to pass it over to Victoria.
Great. Thank you, Drew. And hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Weinfeld. I oversee the admissions team at Condé Nast College, and I'm delighted to be here to tell you a little bit more about the admissions process for Vogue Summer School in New York City. Before we get into the logistics of the application, first, let me just say that I've been working in the pre-college space for nearly a decade, and I genuinely think that Vogue Summer School is such a special program and a rare opportunity for teenagers. The ability to go behind the scenes of the world's most famous and influential fashion brand and spend 2 weeks in one of the most vibrant, creative, diverse cities in the world, where you can network with industry insiders, visit studios and flagship stores, and Vogue headquarters is just a very unique opportunity, and I'm so excited to be a part of the team that's building this experience for all of you. All of the credit goes to our program team. As you've already heard, they have an amazing lineup of activities and really interesting, relevant, practical curriculum to dive into this summer. And for those of us on the admissions side, our job is to identify the students who will be a good fit for the program. So we get a lot of questions about how exactly do we do that? How do we assess fit? And what we like to do is develop a profile of the kind of student we want to attract to the program and the type of community we want to build. And when we started developing Vogue Summer School, we knew that we were looking for students who were, of course, passionate about the world of fashion, but passionate in a way that extends beyond what you see in the magazines. That means being interested in the culture around fashion, the business side of it, and having a genuine appetite to explore what a future career in the industry might look like. We like to describe the program as being for the next generation of fashion industry leaders. So we're looking for intellectual curiosity, creativity, critical thinking, and leadership potential. We're not looking for straight A students or those with only the highest academic achievements. We want to know what drives you, why fashion, and how do you want to make an impact in the industry someday. So we're only just about halfway through the admission cycle at this point. Hundreds of students have started applications, and we're seeing those applications come in from all over the world. So it's going to be a wonderful, diverse community in New York City this summer. Some of you have already applied and been accepted into the program, so congratulations if you are one of those students. And others, you may still be thinking about applying or enrolling. So let me just pause here and remind everyone that next Monday, March 11th, is our next application deadline. It is also our financial aid deadline. So I encourage students who might need funding to please apply by Monday, because the process does close after Monday. This is your last chance to apply for aid. We're always asked how aid is awarded, and it's done based on a combination of merit and need. So to be considered, you will need to submit a completed program application followed by a financial aid application, where we ask you some questions about household income and dependents and things like that. So there's those two parts. If you have any questions, please contact our admissions team. We are here to help. I do also want to clarify that while financial aid closes next week, we will still accept program applications after next Monday. We have another deadline on April 8th, and then we will review applications on a rolling basis throughout the rest of the spring, depending on if spots are still available. So if you do miss next week's deadline, don't worry, you can still apply to the program, but the sooner you apply, the better, because capacity is limited. Once you've applied and you've been accepted, you'll want to spend the remaining months prepping for your arrival on campus. That includes making travel arrangements, securing a visa, depending on your country of origin, making sure you have up-to-date health insurance that will cover you through the course of the program. These are just some examples of the important logistical preparations you'll need to take. And our admissions and program teams will be in touch regularly with instructions to ensure you're all set as we approach the start date. I know many of you have very specific questions about your application and the admissions review process, so I encourage you to contact our team anytime by phone or email. We are here to answer any one-off questions that come up, but would also be delighted to schedule a lengthier one-on-one consultation for you and your family if that's helpful. We always like to get to know our applicants, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I really hope to see all of you here in New York City this summer. And I think with that, we will transition into our Q&A portion. So thank you all so much for listening.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Victoria. So I'm going to give everybody a chance to return to the screen now. And also just to say that our team that's here right now will do our best to answer some of the Q&A questions in the background as well. So do keep them coming into the Q&A section. But let me also say that if you go to our website, there is a frequently asked questions section, the FAQ. That section is your friend. There's lots of really well-detailed questions and answers in there that will probably help you along the way as well. So do have a look at that as well. So it should be quite comprehensive, I find. So while we've got everybody here, I just wanted to sort of pick up on a few things that you've mentioned, and then as my colleagues do answer questions in the background. But Johannes, you've mentioned that of course we've got alumni that are all around the world now. Where are some of the places that they've ended up, and what are some of the stories that you've kind of some of the great stories about students that you've seen that you're really proud of?
Well, funnily, a colleague of mine visited the Adelphi building, which is the headquarters of Condé Nast and Vogue here in London, which is where I'm at the moment. And she came back and just mentioned the amount of previous alumni she bumped into whilst she was there. One is the chief business officer for Vogue, for instance. So it's a really high up, and it's for us, it's always really lovely to see our students go on to find these jobs. And actually, the nice thing as well is that sometimes they come back and talk to our students about what they do in the industry. So we've got lots of great alumni at Condé Nast, and also in other media brands as well, and in other publications as well. But also, of course, fashion business. It's a huge industry. It's actually the third biggest industry in the world, and employs huge amounts of people. And we have alumni working in all sorts of different companies all around the world. And again, that's I think what's really interesting and nice about our colleges. We've got locations in different parts of the world, students coming at different stages in their life, but also often going back to their home countries, particularly when they're coming from abroad, to take that knowledge back and contribute into their own fashion communities and fashion cultures as well. I hope that answers your question.
Fantastic, thank you. Drew, you mentioned the history of New York. There's two things I love about this program. First of all, the classrooms, they are in 570 Lex, which is the original General Electric building. It is a soaring tower of Art Deco and Gothic beauty. It is one of my favorite buildings. There's because it was the General Electric building, it has these spirits of electricity at the very top as well. It's a beautiful building. And then just a very short walk from there is 525 Lexington. So this is all on Lexington Avenue. So 570 Lexington is where the classrooms are. 525, it's just a very short walk from there, is where the dorms are, the rooms are, where you'll be staying. And it is another brilliant building that was built in the 20s, and it has a wonderful connection to someone I think who is incredibly fashionable, Jackie Kennedy Onassis. Her grandfather built this, and this was in the 20s, the tallest hotel in New York. So it's an incredible building, and this is where you'll be staying as well. So that proximity to a fashion icon. But Drew, I wanted to ask you, in terms of the co-curricular activity and the things that happen in campus, so that's the campus that we're on, and around campus, beyond the campus, what can students do to make the best of the program while they're with us?
Absolutely. I think it's extremely important to come open-minded and come ready to learn about yourself and others. 2 weeks is short, but it's long, right? So if you come open-minded, I think you'll leave the 2 weeks knowing more about yourself, knowing more about the world, and knowing more about just everything around you. So come open-minded and ready to learn. And I guarantee you, when you step, foot off campus on Friday to move out, you will feel different, and you will leave with lifelong friends or soulmates or friend mates, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, come open-minded.
Fantastic. Thank you. I mean, that's talking about the networking on the peer-to-peer level, on the student-to-student level. Olivia, I know that you're working very hard on the curriculum, and we've got some fantastic lead instructors, and we're starting to build out some of the guest speakers as well. What are the things that really are exciting you about the program as you're working on it right now?
Yeah, overall, I'm so excited about building this program. And I think one of the really great, unique things about it is that industry access you're going to get. These are people who are working in the field right now. They can talk to you, they can bring in their colleagues, people they've worked in before, and really talk about the relationships that they have, and also about their own career journeys and how they kind of got to a point. They all started in your shoes as they were one time, and now they're working in the industry. So I think that kind of exclusive access is going to be really great. And that involves both your main instructor, your guest speakers, as well as some of these site visits. We're going to take you to places that you might not be able to go if you were just walking around off the street. So it's going to be really exciting. And I can't wait to have people on campus and enjoying that with us.
Fantastic. I'm going to say that the program is brilliant, and the holistic part of the program, when we talk about the co-curricular activity and the Res Life, I think that students who come to us for Res Life, you will be fully supported by a residential and student life team led by Drew, and they are there with you throughout the whole of the program. So they're there to support you in the evenings. Of course, during the day, you'll be in class and you'll be supported by the academic team that Olivia leads. But when we are in the residential dorms, you'll have a full support team, and that includes making sure that should anything happen, there is emergency contact details. There's also the ability to, if you're a parent, reach out to our team and be in contact. The Welcome Desk are a fantastic team. They are the first point of call for everything if you're a residential student and if you're a day student. But they are so well trained and experienced in being able to deal with all the different scenarios and all the queries. For example, if you are based in New York and you need to go away and do one of your tests that are required during your program, you ask for a leave pass, and the Welcome Desk can sort that out and make sure that you are able to step away and do what you need to do. You may ask for passes for other reasons as well, but the Welcome Desk are brilliant. They're there to support you. You've got a Res Life team supporting everything as well. So if you're thinking about whether you'll get what you'll get out of the program between being a day student versus a Res Life student, I think the great thing that you get from being a Res Life student is you're there with a community, and you get to really embed yourself in this program, and you get to really form those deep bonds and connections as well. Victoria, I'm going to turn to you and ask you about any final top tips that you may have for students who are thinking about applying right now for the program.
Sure. My number one tip, it's really not that original. It is to take your time with your application. Our team does read everything you submit as a part of it. We care deeply about what you say about yourself and your interest in the program. So please take your time. One thing to keep in mind is that this is a learning experience. Sure, it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's also academic in nature, and it will even give you a sense of what college life might be like in New York City. So what are you excited to learn about? What is it that you want to contribute to this community of students who are coming from all over the world with different perspectives? My hope for all applicants is that the application process itself is as enlightening for you as it is for those of us just getting to know you for the first time. So take your time and enjoy it.
Fantastic. I think we've done our best to get through as many questions as possible. If there are any further questions that you may have, I know that there's some detailed ones in there that may do with some one-to-one time, perhaps. I think that might be the offer. Victoria, what's the best thing for them to do if they've got further questions beyond today? And they may go away and realize that they've got some questions that may not occur to them right now as well.
Sure. Yes. Please refer to the FAQs on our website. We've done everything we can to try to anticipate a lot of the questions that come in. So I believe Olivia has dropped a link to that on the chat. You can also go to voguesummerschool.com and our contact page to find the best phone number and email address to reach the admissions team. And just again, we're here for one-off questions. I've done my best to answer as many of them here in the Q&A chat box. I saw a lot of questions about financial aid, so we'll keep addressing some of those, but don't hesitate to call and email, but also please, again, a one-on-one consultation is available to you. So nothing is, no questions are too small, and we can answer them over email, but we're very happy to schedule time with your family one-on-one. So take advantage of that opportunity.
Wonderful. Thank you. I think that brings us to a close for now. So I'm hoping, everybody, that you take up our invitation to come and see us in New York and spend time with us, whether it is as a day student or as a residential student, and that you are going to have a wonderful time in this program. So please do have a look on the website and please do apply. And we're really looking forward to seeing you in New York in summer this year. Thanks, everybody.